It's Wolf, and it's time for another Wolf's First 15. So, as you guys can see though, I've already played 36 minutes of this game, which means that this is not the first attempt to record this video. Oh man, I've not had luck with audio recording properly today with videos. But anyway, this game is called Parking 3D. This is a game that I got a key for through Keymailer from the developers, so that's why I'm doing a first 15 on it. I tend to do those on mainly just the games that I get keys for. Yeah, it's a game where you park cars, and that's about it. Now the thing is, well, while it boots up, actually also I need to grab timer real quick. So, oh wow, I've had a stopwatch going on my phone for 8 hours apparently. I never turned it off earlier today when I was trying to record these. Wow. So, let me boot it up here, and then I'll tell you guys. So this game is like, it's weird because what it looks like when you first look at like the store page for it is it looks a lot like just an asset flip kind of thing. But then once you start playing it, you realize, oh, well, it is kind of an asset flip, I think, but it's actually a mobile game. So that's kind of it I don't know, it puts you in a weird position, because at least for me it does, because when you think of it as a mobile game rather than a traditional like computer game, it actually is like way better. So yeah, this is the game. But yeah, like I said, I think it's best to consider it a mobile game more than a PC game, because it is pretty much a mobile game, and I believe that it is released on mobile devices, because even in the video that they have on the Steam store page, they show gameplay like with a touchscreen, like with touchscreen controls, even though I don't have touchscreen controls for this because it's on my computer. Anyway, I guess I will start the timer now, and then we will start playing. So, timer is going. So 15 minutes of this. I've played it before already, quite a bit actually. And so, this game, you park cars. It reminds me a lot of like Flash games that you might have played back when you were in middle school, if you were like me, where you'd park cars and stuff, and things like that. It's almost like, if you think of the Trials motorcycle games, and how those started out as like Flash games and then got developed into actual full games. It reminds me of like kind of doing that, but with those parking games, but obviously not on like the level of quality as Trials games. Anyway, so you have 4 classes here on the front, as you guys can see. City, off-road, big, and heavy. They just mainly change what kind of cars you will drive. It doesn't actually change the level you're playing on, so far as I know. So I'm going to start out with the city level, and I'm going to start out with the base car, but I'll change it around a little bit to show you guys other cars and stuff. But I've played through all the city levels. Now there's also free rides, so you can just drive around the parking lot area that you're in. So the thing is, this game doesn't actually change levels. I believe that it all takes place in one like large map, which is like this sort of dock kind of area is what it looks like, and you park cars like this, and that's about it. Like I said, reminds me a lot of a mobile game, and I'm pretty sure it is a mobile game, which is part of the thing, like I said, that's important to keep in mind for this game, is that when you consider it in comparison to like other actual racing games and stuff, you're like, wow, this is garbage. But then when you think of it as a mobile game, and like as sort of a time-wasting game, like it actually should be thought of as, then you're like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. Like this is the sort of thing that if I had on my phone, yeah, I would probably play this between class and stuff. Or like, if I downloaded this on my smaller computer, that little ON laptop that I reviewed a while ago, I actually genuinely do use, like between classes and stuff. If I downloaded it on there, which I don't know if it would actually run on there or not, because that laptop's not the most powerful thing, but like, yeah, I mean, I could see myself playing this between classes if I had enough time, sort of thing. So, anyway, the controls, as you guys can see, are down the bottom left. That's how I'm controlling the game. The mouse doesn't seem to do very much except for work on the menus. We'll say one sort of odd thing about this game is the fact that you don't just reverse, you actually have to like change, you hit R to change transmission, which gave me kind of an idea that I think could make this game a little bit more interesting, but I don't know if it would really work that well, because like it's a reasonably slow game, like you drive around slowly. But if you change, you change the transmission from drive to reverse, I kind of think it'd be interesting if they possibly added in like manual transmissions. Like I said, I don't know how well that would actually work, since the cars aren't really going very fast, at least not in these levels, so it might not actually really add all that much, but who knows. You can also change the camera to an overhead camera, which, like I said earlier, this game is very, very reminiscent of like parking flash games that you'd probably find online on like Cool Math and stuff like that. And that camera angle in particular really reminds me of those because that's the angle most of them are from. This level, as you guys can see, things get a little bit wild because now there's another car driving around. Speaking of other cars, I'll go ahead and swap to another vehicle in a second here. Now, if I remember right, as you unlock new vehicles, you usually get put into them automatically. But since I've unlocked all the vehicles here, it doesn't put me into them automatically. Well, I haven't unlocked all the vehicles. But so anyway, I'll go and show you guys. I think this car kind of looks cool, so I'll show you guys this like police car thing and then start on that same stage that we were about to go into. So even though this car actually does sort of handle pretty similar to the first car that I was showing you guys, the vehicles do handle differently. Some are faster than others, some turn faster than others, stuff like that. Also, since they're different sizes, I think that it like kind of changes how you park different cars. Also, at times, I don't know if it's maybe just me, but like, in my opinion, sometimes when you go to park some of the cars in this game, the boxes almost don't seem like accurate with the actual zone you need to be in. It feels like sometimes I'm in the box, but then it's telling me that I'm not actually in the box. So, who knows? Another gameplay thing. You know, the timer. I didn't really think about this until right now, but the timer that's up in the top left, I don't really know if it's that necessary. I get that it's sort of there to apply some pressure, but in reality, it doesn't actually seem to... Oh, that's a wreck, and that's a X that we've got there. Actually, I'm just going to restart the level. Well, the timer doesn't actually feel like it rushes you that much, so it doesn't actually feel like that much of a challenge with the timer, so I would say that that would be maybe one thing. Like, maybe add, like, another difficulty mode to make it harder, or, like, maybe take the timer out, if you, like, because it doesn't really actually do that much, except for maybe, like, it changes your performance grade on a couple levels and stuff. But, yeah. Also, some of these levels do get pretty challenging. I feel like I'm not really having a bunch of trouble with the ones that I'm showing right now because I've played them multiple times already. But some of the levels do get challenging, which is kind of nice in a way, actually. It's sort of surprising once some of the levels get challenging. Actually, after this level, I'll go ahead and jump ahead to some of the later, like, Group 1 levels to show you guys, because they start using cones, or, well, pylons, whatever you want to call them. And those are super small and sort of hard to miss, and it makes it a bit more challenging. So I'll just go ahead and jump all the way to the last level here. So yeah, as you guys can see, there's all these cones, and if you hit one, you actually get a strike, like an X. So it's actually, some of these levels are pretty challenging because the corners are like really tight. Also, there's little markers that I'm going through. So one thing to note about those that might actually be sort of some useful criticism for the developers in the future with this game, you'd actually need to like hit them. You can't just go near them in order for them to count. Which I don't know. I think it would be more useful if you kind of go near them, because there's been a couple times where like in any other game it would have counted even though I didn't directly hit the checkpoint thing. Anyway, though, let's hop over to the off-road vehicles now, and then maybe depending on how I do with these, I can actually show you guys some of the bigger vehicles too. Now, the off-road vehicles, I'll just hop into this one. Despite looking different, and I'm just going to start on stage 7. Now, despite the off-road vehicles being different sizes and everything, nope, that didn't quite work. Despite them being different sizes and everything, what am I trying to say here? The levels are in the same area, and I think that some of the levels are actually even recycled between the different like groups of vehicles. So I don't know. I feel like because when I first was playing the game and I saw off-road, I kind of assumed that these vehicles would be in a different area, like a dirt track or something like that, and you'd have to park like in dirt, but it seems to be that regardless of the vehicle class you're using, they always take place in the same spot. Oh, and there's what I was talking about with the cones. Like, those are hard to get around. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to swap to a smaller vehicle, because this truck is just way too big for that, I think. Although all these vehicles should, in theory, be the same size. because like otherwise it wouldn't necessarily be super fair, although they're definitely not the same size. Oh, but see, that's what I'm talking about with like you have to hit the checkpoint directly, even though like I was really close to it right there. Alright, so let's go around this and go park the car again. Where does it want me to park? Does it want me to back in? No, it wants me to pull in. Okay. You gotta pay attention to the arrows on the parking spaces because those tell you what direction the game wants you to park the car in. Or in this case, truck, I guess. There we go. Overall, though, like I feel like I'm kind of, you know, throwing a bit of criticism out there at this game. Overall, this game actually, it's if you think of it like I keep saying as a mobile game, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty fun as just a thing to play, like when you're not doing anything else. Now I will say the price of it on the Steam store I believe is like $5 or $6, which, and that's American dollars, because I know Australia and other countries use dollars too, but American dollars, like $5 or $6 American dollars. And I will say I do find that a bit steep for this game. I would say that this game is more along the like $1 or $2 range, and that I would think was reasonable. But in some ways I think it would even be better if they just made it free with advertisements, because like it's fun, but it's not like much money fun, you know what I mean? Like I definitely would not be spending a whole ton of money to buy this, like if I hadn't gotten it sent to me, which I mentioned already. But yeah, this game got sent to me by the developers, so this is a free review copy. I've screwed up. I needed to start turning earlier. There we go. Well, this is gonna have 2 spaces, I believe. Now we gotta go this way. It's like driving around the parking lot with your parents, and they can't seem to find a parking spot that they like. It's like we're all going grocery shopping together. How'd I get 2 hits? Man, I'm not having luck with this parking space. Okay. Also, one other thing I want to try while I'm in the middle of playing this. Now, with keyboard and mouse, this game doesn't control that bad, and on touchscreen, I'm sure it doesn't control that bad. But I'm curious to see if this game happens to have controller support. Now, my PlayStation 4 controller has not been the most cooperative when I've been trying to plug it into my computer today, so we will see if it actually does anything. But I kind of feel like this probably doesn't have native controller support. And yeah, definitely looks like it's not doing anything. So that honestly could be on my end of things, because my PS4 controller has just not always liked to cooperate with me when it comes to gaming. But I don't believe that this has controller support, because I did get my PS4 controller to work with a different game that I also need to do a first 15 on earlier. So like I know it does work. Yeah. Oh, you know, I'm just gonna restart this one. But yeah, controller support I feel like would be a cool addition to this game, but I just don't know if it actually be really worth it for the developers to add that, because I don't know, like it would probably make the controls easier, but also I just don't really know who's actually going to sit here and play this game with a controller, sort of thing. Oh, nope, didn't mean to go that way. Alright, that's a loss. Gotta say though, like originally this is one of these games where I'll be honest with you guys, like I was kind of expecting to just be disappointed. Because, you know, I saw the page for it and everything, and it was like, oh, cool, a game where I'm going to park cars. But I'm pleasantly surprised with it. It is actually a pretty cool little game. I mean, I think it's almost exactly what you would expect from a game called Parking 3D. Yep, I am certainly parking cars, and yes, it is in 3 dimensions. So, I mean, it didn't lie on that front. Oh, we already have 2 X's. Oh. It'd be great if I could get past this level. That is another one of the nice things about it, though, is that it's not it's not as easy as it might look. It is sort of nice that this game has some challenge to it, because even though it can be, you know, sort of frustrating when you're only playing like a time waster sort of game, and it's like kind of hard, but it's not so challenging that you're gonna get frustrated and want to like just quit playing. So let's scoot ourselves through this parking lot here real quick. I mean, it is kind of cool though the way the controls are set up, because I've been playing this entire time with pretty much one hand. The only time I've used my right hand in this playthrough is just on the menu, because all the controls are over near WSA and D. It's like you don't even need to use another hand to play it. Although, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, now that I think about it though, it is a little bit odd that there isn't arrow key support. So, oh, almost kind of the opposite of what I was saying earlier about the parking spots. I was kind of out of the parking spot on that one, and it still let me get away with it. Okay, so this one wants us to be in here like this. There we go. That was pretty straightforward. What is this? Like a weird sort of parallel park, I guess. This is an awkward position to put the car into. I passed driver's ed, so you guys know I know what's up. Oh geez, now we gotta get out of this position. Okay, now which direction does it want us to park in for this one? This way? Oh geez, this is an awkward deal. We only have one. There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, and so that's parking 3D, and that's 15 minutes of it. I just want to check and see if I happened to unlock the next category real quick. Okay, now I have one more star, and I could have been able to show you guys that. Don't want to, I guess, show you guys everything though. Anyway though, that's parking 3D. When you see it on Steam, at first you're like, wow, that's not that great of a game, but then you realize it's a mobile game and you go, hey, that's actually a pretty good game. Like I said, I guess final sort of word on it. Yeah, as an actual PC game, like when you try to compare it to like actual computer games, definitely doesn't hold a candle to most normal computer games, but as a mobile game, really not that bad. Don't know if I would really recommend playing it on a computer, I guess. Like, yeah, it's fun, but I don't really know how much time you're gonna want to like spend using your gaming laptop to play Parking 3D. Definitely not really worth $5 or $6 that they want for it, but I would say not a bad deal for maybe like $1 or $2 possibly if you really want to play it. So yeah, anyway, Parking 3D, thanks again to the developers for sending this to me. Like I said, overall, I do have a positive opinion of this game, and yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye-bye.